And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
So the Lord was mad at Aaron and Miriam. Read on.
And he departed.
So the cloud flew away. What happened after the cloud flew away? Read.
And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Mary became leprous.
Miriam became what?
Leprous.
She became what?
Leprous.
Now leprosy is a curse from God. You got these Mormons that talk about people being cursed from God, but they got to make up a whole new curse instead of going in the Bible, where the Bible tell you what a curse look like when God decides to curse a man. And the name is called leprosy. You read about leprosy in Leviticus chapter 13. Go there real quick. Keep this scripture. We're going to go to Leviticus 13. There's different levels to leprosy. There is the lightest form of leprosy, where the hairs on your body began to turn a little bit blondish, and then it kind of looked like you got a rash. Then there's like the most extreme form of leprosy, where it looked like your skin is like falling off, right? But overall, leprosy is a skin condition where your melanin is stripped away. If you brown skin, dark skin, light skin, it gets stripped away. You could become a clean leopard and look like an albino, but your melanin, the color of your skin, is taken away from you. Read Leviticus 13, start from verse 5.
Esau mean wasted his heat.
Right, yeah, he was born like that. We're gonna skip about 2 degrees, and we're gonna go straight to the one that Esau was born with. Read that.
Verse 9. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest.
So now somebody is starting to show little white spots on their arm, on their flesh. You're like, oh, what the heck is this? This guy look like a Dalmatian. So what do? You bring him to the priest. All right, the priest is going to perform a miracle, because there's nothing medically that they could do to get rid of this. Well, in today's time, they got surgery. You see what they did with Michael Jackson, right? But they ain't have all of that technology back then.
Today they call it vitiligo.
Right, they call it vitiligo, but the Bible calls it leprosy. Right, read on.
And when the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall see him. And behold, if the rising be white in the skin.
So now you see white patches is coming on your skin. Read on.
And it have turned the hair white.
And then even your hair begins to turn white. Read on.
And there be quick raw flesh in the
quick what?
Raw flesh.
Quick what?
Raw flesh.
So when you lack that melanin, what do you begin to see under your skin? Raw flesh. That's why when white people get mad, they turn red. When they blush, they turn red. That's why they got a saying down south. They call them rednecks, because the melanin has been stripped from them. Read on.
Raw flesh in the rising. It is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh. And the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
The priest shall pronounce him what?
Unclean.
So once you're unclean, then you have to be separated from the people. And then you'll go through this ritual where they'll lock you away in a dark space for 7 days. And when you come out, 1 or 2 things will have to happen. If you still have the spots, they'll let you go back in there another 7 days. Or if it goes away and you still have your melanin, then you're pronounced clean. Or your whole body will have to turn white for you to be clean. You would still be a leopard, but you will be a clean leopard, meaning you will be able to be amongst the people. You could touch people and all of that. You don't have to be separated. You'll be a clean leopard. So you'll look like an albino. So it's either you will have to get your melanin back completely, or your whole body will have to turn into like the skin color of an albino. All right? And that's just one of the stages of leprosy. There's many, the whole chapter going to the different stages of leprosy, because there are more extreme versions than that. So let's go back to Numbers, because it said Miriam was struck with leprosy. Let's see what form of leprosy was Miriam struck with.
Verse 10 again. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprosy, white as snow.
White as what?
White as snow.
White as what?
White as snow.
So if she turned white, what color was she before?
Black.
She had no other choice. She had to have some form of color. She had to be black, brown skin, light skin. She had to be anything other than white. I watched the Ten Commandments movie one time where they tried to display this with a white woman, and just I was just waiting to see how they was going to do it. I'm like, I'm watching the movie. I want to see how are they going to do this.
Leprosy! Oh, my Lord! Do not punish her for her sin! She has no voice! Do not let her be consumed! Lord, please heal her!
God says she must be shut out of the camp for 7 days, after which time she may be brought in again. She will be healed then.
And when I tell you they flipped it, I mean, like, I laughed so hard, man. She was already white and pale, but they just made her look even more pale in her arm. I was like, come on, man. You know.
Since you mentioned the Ten Commandments, now let's get Exodus 4:6.
Good. Go to Exodus chapter 4 and verse 6 real quick.
When he asked the Most High, who is Pharaoh to believe that I'm coming from you? So
Yep.
that's the first thing he told him to do.
Yep. Because you have to understand, this is one of the fundamentals, one of the first things that we're taught as Israelites. The first man ever created in the Bible was created from what?
Dust.
The dust of the what?
Ground.
What color is the dirt of the ground?
Black.
The different shades of brown.
Brown.
All right, you got that dark, rich red color. You got that light brown color. You got that dark brown color that almost look black, like soil, black soil. That's what Adam looked like. The first man that ever was created was a so-called black man. So you have to understand that leprosy was something to really be feared in the ancient world, because everybody was black. So leprosy was something to be feared in the ancient world. That was something that scared people, because that was something they weren't used to seeing. You used to seeing this dark brown brother, this dark red brother. You used to seeing color. Then all of a sudden somebody just, oh my goodness, this is scary to people. In today's time, we're used to it, but not back then. Read Exodus 4 and 6.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom.
So this is when Moses was speaking to the burning bush. And the Lord was speaking to Moses through the burning bush. And the Lord told Moses, I want you to go to Pharaoh. And Moses said, well, how was they going to believe me that you're speaking to me like I'm just a regular guy? So the Lord said, I want you to do something. You're going to do this, and this is going to scare the heck out of them. And you know those ancient Egyptians, they were black. They show it in the tombs. They show it on the walls of Egypt. All of them. Dark skin, brown skin. So this is something that was definitely going to scare them.
And they couldn't show that in the Ten Commandments.
They couldn't show that in the Ten Commandments.
Now put your hand under your cloak. Now withdraw it.
No. No.
Now, place your hand, and then withdraw it. This will be the sign that you speak with the voice of the Lord their God.
They couldn't. But this what the Bible say. Read.
And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous
When
as
he
snow.
took his hand out, his hand turned leprous as snow. What color is snow, y'all?
White.
What color did Moses? She said. What color did Moses' hand turn to?
White.
White. So what was the color before?
Black.
There you go. Read that where we left off in Numbers.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Mary became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Mary, and behold, she was leprous.
Read on.
And Aaron said unto Moses, Alive, my Lord, I beseech thee.
And I beg you, Moses.
Lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
See, Aaron, he understood. He got scared. Aaron said, Moses, please, don't do this to us. He saw what happened to Miriam. He didn't want it to happen to him. Read on.
Let her not be as one dead.
Let her not be as what?
One dead.
As one what?
Dead.
You know, when white folks first came to America, the Native Americans called them what?
Dead.
Pale faces. So the same way the Native Indians described Edomites when they first came to this country is the way Aaron is describing his sister. He said, let her not be as one dead. She looked pale. Her skin color has changed. Read on.
Of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother womb.
When the flesh is what?
Half consumed.
When he what?
Come out of his mother womb.
Most babies, when they're born, they're not born completely melanated. Most babies, they get the melanin over time when they're born. So he's saying, when I'm saying completely melanated, they do come out melanated, but not like all over, like even tone. So I'm bringing this up because that's how Esau was born. He was born like this. Aaron said, let her not be as like a child when they come out their mother's womb, when they don't have the melanin in their skin. And that raw flesh is coming out and they crying and you see they turning red. That's what Miriam looked like. She didn't look like that before. She looked like that after the Lord cursed her. Read on.
And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, hear her now.
Now look how humble Moses is. Miriam was the main one bucking up against him. And Moses still pleaded for her. Lord, please don't do this to her. That's signs of a true leader, because that's signs of humbleness and forgiveness. This is the same type of characteristics that Christ had when he was on the cross. What did he say? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's what Moses is doing. He said, Lord, don't do this to my sister. Show some mercy to her. Read on.
Hear her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days?
So now the Lord is mad, like I'm doing this for you, Moses. Wouldn't she be ashamed if her father spit in her face? In other words, that's what I'm doing. I'm disgracing her for what she did to you. Read on.
Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
Now that's the law. That's when you read Leviticus 13. That is how leprosy is supposed to be handled. You put them away for 7 days in a dark place, and then At the end of the 7 days, the priest is supposed to check to see if the leprosy went away. Read on.
And Marion was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Marion was brought in again.
So nobody moved from that place until Miriam completed her 7 days to become clean again. Read on.
And afterward the people removed from Hezrah and pitched in the wilderness of Paran.
So after that, she became clean once more again. She received her melanin once more again. And we were able to move on in the wilderness the 40 years that we were supposed to be in. All right? All right, Brother Sirach.
If you and y'all don't mind, since we're touching on this leprosy, there's one more leprosy we need to touch on because our sisters do it every day.
Okay.
Let's get that.
Let's get it.
Proverbs say, envy not the oppressor, or choose none of his ways. So let's get this other this leprosy. Leviticus 13.
Leviticus 13.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard.
So leprosy don't stop with just your skin. It also touches your hair color, and your hair texture. Read on.
Then the priest shall see the plague. And behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin,
meaning it goes into the root. So when you start looking at the hair, you start noticing it's not just the color of the hair, it goes all the way deep into the root of the hair. Read on.
And there be in it a yellow thin hair.
A what?
A yellow thin hair.
What color?
Yellow thin hair.
What color do many Caucasian women have in their hair today?
Blonde.
Blonde hair.
In the Latin, the word yellow translates to blonde.
Blonde, yeah.
Blonde.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Don't they have phrases? Blondes have more fun and all of that stuff. What they say?
Dumb blonde.
Or dumb blonde and all of that stuff. Our people have been conditioned to hate themselves. Our people have been conditioned to hate themselves. Hold this. You don't got to worry about numbers no more. We just sticking with this real quick. Hold this. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt.
Right, so that's one of the curses that the Lord did to the Egyptians, where they had like this botch, this itch that they had to deal with. Read on.
And with the emerald and with the scab.
And with the what?
Emerald and with the scab.
With the scab. The scab that he's talking about is talking about scab on your head. Because in slavery, they taught us that our hair texture was a resemblance of a curse. So what did our women end up doing to their hair? They end up hot combing their hair, putting all type of chemicals in their hair. And now Jada Pinkett calls it what? Alopecia. Right? That's what our women call it. But guess what? It's a scab. Alright? And our women are destroying themselves because they don't love themselves.
And with the itch whereof thou canst not be healed.
Listen, I was with a woman that she used to get all of these wigs and stuff like that. The glue-on wigs is the worst. And when I tell you that these wigs carry spirits with it, she had this one particular wig that her spirit changed for the whole time she had that wig on. Then one night she come in from the club, she said, I just can't, it's itching, I need to take it off. She can't, and she would, whenever she would do this, that's when she would go bipolar. She go crazy. I know something bad about to happen. So that itch, you ever see some of these women go like this? They can't scratch it because it's sewed in. So the only way that they could deal with the itch, they gotta. I'm not lying, man. This is real. Who had their head up? Sarah?
I just want a quick precept when you're dealing with some of the curses in Deuteronomy about that word scab specifically.
Yep. The Israelites, before this was said out of Moses' mouth, The Israelites didn't go through these things yet. So when Moses is saying you're going to be cursed with a scab, when Isaiah is saying a scab on your head, these are future prophecies. The Israelites in the Bible times didn't have this yet. So now in today's time, when the prophecy is being fulfilled, you have to look around and ask yourself what people fit this prophecy. Who falls under this category? Watch this, Isaiah 3:16.
The book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughter of Zion are haughty.
What?
Are haughty.
Another word for haughty is conceited. They had a song, I'm conceited. I forget the words to it, but this is something that a lot of our women take pride in nowadays. They say it in their music. The daughters of Zion are haughty. Read on.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
When you walk with a stretched forth neck. Listen, honestly, I have not seen any other woman from other nation really do this like that. But that stretched forth neck, that moving their head back and forth while they pointing at you and all of that stuff. Ask yourself, what people does this? Who does this when they conceited, talking back to their man? Right? Read on.
And wanton eyes.
Wanton eyes, eyes all over the place. Right? Read.
Walking in menace as
walking and menacing.
Switching.
Yeah,
switching.
That's what it's called.
Back and forth.
Switching. Read on.
As they go. And making a tinkling with their feet.
Right, because they used to have the ankle bracelets. Still to this day, they have the ankle bracelets. Read.
Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head
now,
of the daughter of Zion.
Now didn't Moses said it first. He said you're going to be smitten with the scab and the itch. Now Isaiah saying it even more, because guess what? They ain't repent. Right. All the way from Moses' time to Isaiah time, they didn't repent. So now Isaiah said, the Lord is going to smite with a scab on your head. Think about how beautiful our women here look in the 60s and the 70s, where they was taking pride of who they were. They had those big, beautiful afros and all of that stuff. That's beautiful hair. Somebody made them believe that that texture is not good.
Because we're the ones who make them feel that they're not beautiful.
Yes.
We are the ones who call them everything but what they truly are.
Yeah. And that's completely true. And that always will fall back on us as men, because every time we as men show more attention to the women who are artificial than the women who are natural, is going to always want to look like what? The artificial. So ultimately, when we bring these things up, we as men, we also have to be able to change what we are attracted to. We have to renew our minds in order for our women to renew their minds. That's why in the 60s and the 70s, women, black men, they took more pride in their hair, because men started saying, nah, we want our own features. We want our own natural characteristics, our own natural features. And so everybody was taking pride in that. But then that era changed and it went right back to the curses. So finish Isaiah where it says, smitten with the scab.
Smitten with the scab. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughter of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth legs and wanted eye, walking in menace as they go, and making a tinkle with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
So that is a curse that's upon our people. That's why, I am going to put this disclaimer out there, because some people is going to be like, well, you can't tell black women how to do their hair and all of that stuff. Let me explain something to you. It's not about trying to take away creativity and fashion away from our women, but it is all about getting our women to love themselves. That's what this is about. It's not about bashing women or anything like that. That's not what we do here. I can't speak for any other Israelites. We don't bash women, but we do want our women to love themselves. Just like we want our men to love themselves. Just like we want our children to love themselves. We can't even think about the greatest 2 commandments. Love God with all thy heart, all thy might, all thy soul, and all thy strength. And the second greatest commandment is what?
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Love thy neighbor as what?
Thyself.
As what?
Thyself.
You can't even love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. That's a fact. If you don't love yourself, if you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself, to treat yourself good, you definitely not going to do it for your neighbor. Somebody had their hands up.
Well, I'm just going to say, research showed that due to the amount of chemicals and relaxers they was putting in their hair to relax their hair to make it straight, like the so-called white women or whatever, they led to a lot of ovarian cancer, a lot of urinary fibroids and all that stuff because of those chemicals. And that's been prevalent in the black community.
All praises. So go back to Leviticus 13 and we're going to finish out with this last verse.
I mentioned Sister Tigger, you get a minute, on your own time, if you want to, you can read verse 24. Show you the flip side. Because it said, it shall come to pass. On verse 24. So
you still there in Isaiah?
No, I can go down.
Read verse 24 real quick. Because that's very important.
Verse 24, Isaiah, the book of Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink.
There should be what?
Stink.
Read on.
And instead of a girdle,
just so y'all know, it's difficult for me to be PG-13 with that right there. Right. So when y'all can figure that part out right there. But read on.
Instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well-set hair, baldness.
Instead of well-set hair, what?
Baldness.
Instead of what else?
Baldness.
We call it alopecia today.
Right.
Who?
Alopecia.
Alopecia.
You can drop everything you got, go to Leviticus 13. And to the verse that we was at in Leviticus 13, you can read it from the top.
The book of Leviticus chapter 13, verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scab.
It is a dry what?
Scab.
Didn't Deuteronomy say you was going to be cursed with what?
Dry scab.
Isaiah said he was going to be cursed with what?
Scab.
Scab. That's leprosy right there. You can have leprosy in your hair.
Or your beard.
Or your beard. And see, a lot of people don't know, like a lot of these brothers, they try to imitate that in Islam, where they dye the beard and all of that stuff. They don't know where that come from. When you read the Bible, it tells you that the Arab nations are a mixture of Ishmaelites and Edomites. So when our brothers try to imitate the beard with the blonde hair and all of that, what they are actually imitating is ancient Edomite hair texture in their beards. Those people were first Muslims. They were the ones converted to Islam by the Ishmaelites. So now that's an example of our brothers envying the oppressor. Read on. Was that the end of 30?
Yeah, I'm going to finish it. It's got even a leprosy upon the head or beard. That's the end of 30.